We're gonna do the pledge right now. Andy? Yes. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning today, February 6th. Regular session. I'm gonna send some stuff on here. Oh, weekly discussion with Road and Bridge.
She's in there grabbing some paperwork.
Hmm?
She's grabbing some paperwork.
Following procedure, we're off a little bit. We'll do correspondence and public comment in a few minutes.
Oh.
All right, good.
Morning, Paul.
Howdy.
Morning, Scott.
Good morning, morning.
Hey, we'll start with the weekly report with Road and Bridge Superintendent. Paul.
Not much, just plowing a little bit of snow and throwing some sand and. Talked with Brad. Last week and hopefully they're gonna get that Weir Pond project pushed through this week. So we could start on cleaning that up next week. If all goes good, then we could get that knocked out.
You're gonna go all the way down the creek
Just
for the powerhouse.
just the pond, just right from the weir up until it starts, till it levels off right there, and that's it.
Well, I think you should get that first part, the floods.
Yeah, you mean in the creek
Across the
itself?
road, or, down by the road, floods the road,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna get that. on.
They're, if they'll let us, the pond where it's all filled up is the first thing we gotta do. And then we'll straighten out some of that other stuff, is the plan anyway, if they'll let us go, But when we met there, he wants to do that first part first,
Yeah,
and then we'll take them and go through another piece there, cause we need to clean them out where it's on them sharp corners and shit, where we had the problem.
Yeah.
2 years ago or whatever. And they came in and got the scales, they overhauled them yesterday. And he checked them all and they're 100% weighing correct. So,
Oh,
yeah, so sometimes they got a little bit of a glitch. But he said they're good, they're good as they're gonna get. And anyway, so they're gonna put that, we're gonna get a price on fixing that end. But I think even if it's $30,000-$40,000 or whatever. Once we get exactly what they wanna do, I think we should still put that in the paper unless some other people take a look at doing the dirt work. Or. I just think it's the right thing to do. Give some other people an opportunity and that way it's
yeah,
aired out and who knows who might wanna do it. Maybe you guys save 10,000, maybe you don't, but. They're overseeing it, so. To make sure it's all done correctly with the compaction and everything.
So
Why wouldn't we bid that
when you
much?
say putting it in the paper, what do you mean, putting it out for bid? Is that
Yeah.
what you're saying?
Once we know exactly what it is. And. That's just my thought anyway.
oh, I think so.
And. I mean, every Tom, Dick and Harry's got an excavator and stuff, so. I don't. Or whatever. But other than that, that's about all I got.
Solid waste?
Oh, well, just a couple things, I received an updated list from Rick Robinson on probably 100 or so that were on his list that I didn't have tax IDs, so I could tie it into our system. And I'm updating those, and that's pretty good, so we'll be pretty much like a 98% accurate with his reporting, so it's his obligation. And he's also sent me some deletions and some additions, so I'm updating that master on the solid waste side. So we can report out and bill quarterly, they go through it. And customers are starting to buy units, because I sent out that notice of 50 customers that were over by just on the half year. And so they're buying units to save themselves some money, because there's quite a bit of difference in that. So it's fun. Wow, effort. Get those letters out.
So what kind of feel are you getting from the customers? Do they realize this is probably they're saving themselves some money?
Oh, those people are,
Yeah.
yeah, they're still grumbling that they have to pay anything, but that's just nature of the beast.
Yeah.
So, but they are willing to, some people have to buy 10 units, 50, right? Opposed to 5,000, but there is a savings, so they know they're gonna get caught up. Not with that 5,000 if they don't do something about it. That's one thing.
Look at the 10 they got by with last year for not buying. You know,
Well, there's a significant price difference between last year's billing of overages and this year's. It's 5 times difference, so. Anything they can do. At least
So and why is that, do you think, the difference?
you raise the price to.
Yeah.
To 20 cents.
just that is all.
Yeah, well, no, I thought customers had overages, there was a big difference in the overages between the customers, not the actual cost.
Yeah, it's just the cost, it is. I mean, everything's gone up and, people understand that, but they still don't want to pay that difference, and if they can make a savings with buying units, that's what they. That's pretty much it,
Do you have any questions, Scott? Okay, short and sweet. Guys,
See you later. Thanks.
did you want Paul here for Fitzpatrick on the bridge or Paul?
I think he might be headed to Great Falls to get some more cold patch.
Couple minutes until, is Mr. Fitzpatrick going to come on Zoom for us? Okay.
He coming in or Zoom, you said?
Zoom. Or it's my understanding that it's on Zoom. That's what it said in his email.
So how much if we do it ourselves?
Just, our guys can do it and then whatever the boards cost. Cut some planking, get somebody to cut some planking. Just rip it up and redeck it.
All the supports are good.
Yeah, that, good, Department of Revenue, all them looked at it and they said it's in good and fair shape. No, just needs their decking. So, thank God, like Paul. Phelan looked at it. Make a deal. He's rebuilt 1,000 bridges, so it'd be pretty easy to just put some decking down and clean it up a little bit there. Cause see, we put the sides on it when I first come in as commissioner, we put the side on it, somebody cut the planks and put them on. Yes, that house really well, and I read a little bit on it, but I don't understand how. I guess we talk about that yet.
So this was introduced by Mr. Fitzpatrick.
But I was, the way it reads somewhere, what's I reading, it's more than replacing the bridge, well, we don't wanna replace that whole bridge.
Well, it comes from somebody else.
Like,
How's it going? So, Josh Fitzpatrick's gonna be calling in.
Oh, he's gonna call in.
Yeah,
What's
Oh.
that?
Josh Fitzpatrick's gonna call in.
Oh. So I see where Drummond wastewater applied for 500,000, where was it that they applied for the 190,000?
they didn't get it in, they backed out of it, so it probably won't show it.
Oh, okay.
And then he was talking, they were talking amongst each other. Like for 50,000 or something. Right, Glenn? With Fitzpatrick and the mayor.
I mean, I haven't heard, but they talked about an amount.
We're saying on that grant, then and some of the stuff that you gotta meet, that's everything, I think it would cost us more. Trying to go through that than just replace the decking and move on. Then they want you there to do, yeah, you gotta meet all what they want done, so they're gonna be into a block. The way I read it, but good, look it up again.
We could call him too.
He said he's calling it, it should be up to him to call, I mean, last week was, yeah. He's the one that, tell us about it all.
Yeah.
Well, we can discuss while we're waiting for Representative Fitzpatrick to call, we can go into our next agenda item. The bridge project on South Main and Drummond with the House Bill 11 discussion. Scott, you had some discussion on that?
Well, we had, Paul talk to a bridge builder, and he looked at it, and plus it's been looked at, and it says it's in fair and good shape, just needs a decking done. So I just think it's better to hire somebody to cut some boards for us, some planking, and then do it ourselves, we've done them before.
And not use the grant funding.
Well, the way you start looking at that grant stuff there, what I try to read, it's saying replacement, bridge replacement, we don't wanna replace that whole bridge.
He had some thoughts about using partial money for repairs, but I don't know that that's, we'd have to look in to see if that's in the plan.
Instead, that had to be to, let's see, kind of pretty much what they wanted to do, where we could just put the plank. Fix it, that's my opinion.
It's commission's decision, that's your.
They did save us a bunch of money after talking to a couple of them, the supervisor and that bridge guy.
I have to. So. You feel that you don't want to partner with Drummond for the grant funding? Can you explain why you don't want to do that.
I just don't think we need to take the grant. I think we can do it ourselves. And I just pray that we take that by trying to read what that bill is and next thing you know, you're gonna be into it and they're gonna have you do this, do that. And then they're the ones where the bridge guys are, said it just needs planking. That's, I don't think we want that grant. But that's me. I mean, and
Do you have a comment, Chuck?
We don't need the grant, I don't know why we're doing it, but. How long is the bridge gonna last if we don't replace it?
it's. Looking at the structure is all good. It's just the top part. And I know a lot of snow plows going over it, you know. And it's probably been on there for how many years now? Or, you know, put some good blanking down level, it better, you know, what comes along, put some cold bats on each end or whatever, so when they come along with the snow plows.
Scott, sorry, Wayne,
Was it? Refresh my memory, was it talked about how you could potentially put a culvert right there, or is that not a?
Well, that was if we. That was if they were going after, that's what the big deal was when they wanted to go for that 190,000.
Was it called, is it culvert?
You know, they're saying it's still good, it just needs
Okay.
planking.
Okay.
So, why would you want,
who's they? You're saying, they are saying, who are you talking about?
that city, when they talked to them, that's what their deal was, that's why they went for that 190 when they thought they owned it. That they could get the whole bridge done, you know, yank it out, but then when we had it looked at, it, the only thing was wrong was the planking, gone.
So why did they want a culvert,
Cause they could have went after that money, but
culvert, which,
it was a big circle flat.
would it be just under the bridge or what? I don't get that.
They take it all out and set that in there and then build over the top,
Oh,
but it's not just dig it out, fill it over, I'm just saying that's what the color.
That's the more expensive way you're talking, yeah. Okay, that's what.
which, is it necessary?
No, cause they're saying that the bridge is good, it just needs planking. You know, in the spring, when you look at it, and that's cleaning it all off good.
So that you could entertain a motion regarding the decking.
I'll make a motion that we
Well, I'd rather
here.
hear what Mr. Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's discussing it, I understand where you're coming from completely. But, I mean, then we can point blank say, hey, this is too, yeah. And it's not like we're trying to weasel our way out of anything.
He said, try calling him, it's not ringing. Maybe try calling him.
Yeah, something's goofy.
I wonder if something got knocked
We
around
need to unplug
during,
it, plug it back in.
maybe.
We've had that
Or did something
problem.
get tweaked during vacuuming?
I'm fixing it.
I'll write down his number for it.
Okay.
I don't know if he wants it announced to the world.
Now. This will plug it back in.
Right space or.
Make you look like a fool. So I don't have to. It had it backwards.
No, just a,
Weird space.
that's in.
Right.
Like,
Turning on.
It should turn green.
Numbers on a sticky note.
Oh, it's loading. It has to reboot. I have red lights here. I guess that must be, unplug it every morning and plug it back in.
I gave some new phones.
I called at one point, I can't remember.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
I think it's with them.
Hmm,
They come in and looked at them and, yeah.
Hello?
Good morning, Mr. Fitzpatrick. This is Granite County calling.
Oh, good, thank you.
If you could discuss the state grant funding with us, please,
For the bridge.
for the bridge.
All right, well, prior to the session, when I was visiting with folks about issues in their community, Dale Weeper told me that they had a problem with that bridge and wondered if I could do anything to help. During the legislature, I managed to get an amendment into the House Bill, I think it was, 11.
Yeah.
That, put $190,000 in there for that bridge. I was under the understanding that that bridge belonged to,
Drummond.
Drummond, and not the county. It wasn't until, after the session was over and we got the appropriation, I found out otherwise. And I've been basically trying to figure out what's gonna happen and who's gonna do what, if anything's gonna be done at all.
Okay. So on our side of it, I don't think we understood exactly just what was being requested from Drummond and then finding out that we do own the bridge and also checking on whether or not, what kind of condition the bridge is in. We were told that the bridge is in good condition and doesn't need to be totally replaced. So we wouldn't,
One clarification, I don't know that the county owns the bridge, but there is the statute that says the county will maintain city bridges.
and that was Blaine giving you that information.
Yeah, no, I could hear that.
Okay,
Well, here's the deal, there's $190,000 sitting there. You guys need to make a decision whether you want any or all of the money. You do have a 1-to-1 match on the thing. And I assume that when I was talking with Dale, that she was aware of that and had the match, but apparently she doesn't. So, I mean, if you guys decide that you don't want to do all of the bridge, there's no requirement that you do everything. You can always revert money. But the question here is, let's just say you decide that you need to, fix the decking, that, the piers are all right. And you wanna go ahead and do that, and the cost is gonna be $60,000 total. Then you guys put in 30 and the state will put in the other 30 and you'll be done. You have to sign the paperwork with the Department of Commerce. Now, because that appropriation went to the town of Drummond, you're gonna have to figure out some way for that arrangement to be contracted so that Drummond essentially contracts that money back over to the county so the county can do the work, which I don't think will be a problem, but that's one of the boxes that has to be checked.
And so doing just work on it is fine, it doesn't need to be a total replacement, but
No, and the appropriation that we got, yeah, that number was generated by Brad Kuhn at Triple P Engineering. He's, apparently he's doing a lot of the engineering work there for Drummond. And, he generated that number and it was intended to cover the total cost. So, you know, the appropriation is too large to begin with. But, if you guys decide that you wanna just do part of the work, and you think that will suffice, there's nothing wrong with doing that. You just, as long as you come up with a match and you work out the arrangement so that the money can come from Drummond to the county because they've got the appropriation. I don't see that as being a big deal. It shouldn't be a big deal.
Scott, do you have a comment?
Yeah, when does this have to be filled out?
Well, you've got to get this thing contracted underway probably before September of this year. You know, you don't have to have the work done, but you have to have it under contract, otherwise the state will take the money back. And that, frankly, that shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Okay, so it's just, we can definitely decide that we're not replacing the whole bridge, we're fixing it. And then we would partner with Drummond for them. They would get the money and then they would pay us, but it would still be Granite County doing the work, and then it wouldn't be Drummond supervising Granite County on the work. It's just Drummond supplying the money that they have requested.
It would depend on how that
Just-
contract
Just,
reads.
yeah,
Yes.
just work out the contract,
Yeah.
have Blaine drop the contract up, so when they go, see, the state of Montana generally requires that you sign a contract with them, you lay out a schedule, you lay out a plan. And then they do things on more or less on a reimbursement basis. So you start the project off with Granite County money, then you get reimbursed, and you keep going that way, and then you get the whole thing done. But it'll work.
Okay. Is there a motion to go forward?
I guess I'd make that motion, go forward and see if Thurman will partner with us
Okay,
and.
Yeah.
Have a magic.
Yeah. With matching funds. Do I have a second? I'll second. Is there any public comment?
Elena.
Okay, if you'll stay on the line, Mr. Fitzpatrick, we have public comment. Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano for the record. Just clarification, please. So Drummond is getting the $190,000. It's been approved. And so shouldn't this discussion be on the agenda with Drummond regarding what the county is going to do and how much, what, just whatever the county decides, and have a discussion with Drummond. Put that on the agenda before you agree to anything else.
Well,
Can I have an answer on that?
So this is the initial stage, and then the county would go to them.
This isn't a decision on the amount we're gonna need. This is talking with Drummond, who happens to have the appropriation to them, and deciding whether or not we're fixing it. We're fixing it, we're not gonna replace it. This is just open for discussion with Drummond to become a partner with Granite County to fix the South Main Bridge in Drummond.
So it will be on the agenda, let's say for next week, the discussion, right? With Drummond, so they know to be here to have a discussion with you.
I don't think it necessarily has to be on next week's agenda. We have until September to decide. I think we can get with Drummond and decide when would be a good time for Drummond and Granite County to meet and discuss what needs to be done with the South Main Bridge in Drummond.
Okay, that's just clarification that Drummond there will be a discussion on the agenda. Doesn't have to be next week, but that's gonna be what your decision is gonna be. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. Any other public comment? Things none. Thank you, Mr. Fitzpatrick. You have enlightened me. And
Thank you.
you have a great day.
But listen, when I get back to Montana, maybe it would be useful for me to stop down a couple of times a month just to talk with you folks about issues that are going on in Helena or issues that you have that Helena can help with. So when I get back to Montana, I'll get a hold of you and see if we can maybe just schedule a couple of times a month.
That'd
for
be
me to
great.
Stop by and we can visit.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Have a good day.
We didn't vote.
Hang up.
We didn't vote.
Oh. All in favor?
No,
Aye. Opposed?
I don't think it's a big deal.
No, I just worry about this. I just didn't understand. I know what he's saying, but it's, there's a lot more to it than when I tried to read it. That grant. That's what bothers me, is all.
One of the things you probably want to come up with is generally a dollar amount, what's going to be needed, then we can go to the Drummond and say, hey, we'd like to do the decking and work that out with contract with you guys. Is that That's something.
And I think because we maintain it, it can be our decision, and then they would just apply for it and we would make them in.
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so we're a little behind schedule. The board minutes for January 23rd, 2024. Is there?
I'll make a motion, to accept the board minutes for January 23rd, 24th.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll say.
Is there any public comment? Yes, Elena?
Thank you, Elena Gagliano. For the record, you already approved January 23rd. It's January 30th, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it is January 30th.
Oops, we have a typo on our agenda.
Uh-oh. We'll have to put it on next week then.
Okay,
Or no, yeah.
yeah.
You can just change it.
I stand corrected. Is there a
Okay.
motion to approve January 30th, 2024 minutes?
I'll make the motion, sorry.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any public comment? Being none, all in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Elena has. public
Okay, go ahead, Elena.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the minutes and, I didn't pull them up yet for January 30th. But, I think in the beginning it said that John Fitzpatrick was there in attendance, but then in the body of the meeting, it says he wasn't there.
That is in the draft minutes. That's been corrected.
Yes, draft minutes, Elena, remember?
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm bringing up. You approved it, and I'm just saying, was that corrected?
Yes, it was corrected.
That,
Oh, oh,
that wasn't the purpose of giving them out to be nitpicked. I mean,
that's not a nitpick.
Yeah,
I'm
yes, it
sorry.
you
It says
should
who
have done
was
that
in
next
attendance.
week After it's
It's-
been corrected, you're looking to see any little mistake and then bring it up to them. You can bring it up to them the next week after that.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Okay, so our next agenda item is correspondence. And our first correspondence is from Chris and Kim Dahl. And it is a letter to all Granite County and concerned Montana citizens about how she recently concluded the tax appeal process, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 paragraphs of a very disgruntled taxpayer. So this is on the web, this letter,
No, because
but
it
it will
came
be,
in.
okay.
last
I don't
night.
think this needs to be addressed. It is, her opinion, she's not asking for us to address it.
There was some issues that they had with the tax appeal board that they wish there would have been some like more information given. I think that's a decent critique. That we could get out of like a little packet or whatever. The issue with the special session not being done, legitimate gripe, but for the state legislature, I think they probably sent that to them. But I think for what the tax structure is again, state legislature, but the info that we could maybe give out potentially to those making appeals, do that, maybe a little better info than I can help with that.
Okay, our next correspondence is from Granite County Justice Court and their disbursement detail for the month of January. And they collected $4,834. So our next correspondence item is from the US Forest Service. And it is a notice of intent to prepare an environmental impact statement. And you can view it at their website. And
Looking for.
Low,
you have comment on it, Chuck?
no, it's from the low.
So it's just informational stuff for Granite County and we don't have to act on it.
Well, I'll look at it more.
And that's it for That's it for correspondence. Now we go into our next agenda item, which is public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction. Is there any public comment?
Damn thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I uploaded it and I was waiting for it to. Thanks.
Four last.
Oh, yeah, snow.
Is there any public comment? Right now it's about 15.
Elena has comment.
Go ahead, Elena.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, for the record, since this is public comment. Looking at the Granite County website, which should be information for the county on upcoming events. And I believe this is on the homepage. I see February 6th, Granite County Courthouse, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. That's on the website. So if you take a look, that's what I'm seeing. And the next meeting is the February 8th, Phillipsburg Public Library. That's good. Then the 12th, and I would just say that all the events should be on there, especially recurring events. But I don't understand why under the county commissioners, it says 10 to 1 p.m. if you
I-
look at the website.
I can fix that. I think that's from, it switched when we did the public health meeting and it was delayed an hour and somehow it updated future ones instead of just the one from last week. So I just need to go in and adjust the auto populate thing.
And as I said, all the recurring ones for all the committees should be there also. And with the corresponding agenda, and if it's canceled, then just know it's been canceled. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena.
If they send them to me, I put them there.
Okay.
So.
Is there any other public comment? If there's none, I think we can go to the dam tenders report. So as of 7:15 this morning, the Lake Reservoir water surface elevation was 6,429.13 feet.
I guess I'll make a motion, I keep on going, I almost was thinking about going up. And we could talk into it.
How much snow did you get up at Chuckwood?
About foot.
About 4, actually, we never got that much down there.
And, yeah, it started going up. I was watching it over the weekend. It started going up. It's starting to go down, back down again, so. I think just carry on like we're doing. Yeah.
So we have till what, February 18th to. Before.
Yeah.
You could do a new modification now or then, but it's up to you. You don't need a modification to continue at 18.
So keep it,
Or keep it at 30 till the.
keep it at 30.
So if it goes like this, like next week, it should be 5, pushing 6, I think. Inches low. And it would keep going like that, and anyway, my motion is the same. Second next week.
We have motion by Chuck and second by Scott. Is there any public comment? Being said, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. Okay.
How much ice is there on that belt, you know, Ben? So I heard some vacation, they drilled through and then they hit a big air pocket, so I don't know if it's real. But we hear that stuff, right?
Even the ice, last week, the ice near the shore was
Wet.
on there for a few feet, there are spots. So, yeah, got warm. Again, that was just close to shore, yeah.
I wouldn't go out there.
There was a guy that had an ATV out there, and it's like,
Well, that's real cold weather. It should be pretty,
yeah, that was a warm day though, but it's. still-
right along the edges, We used to ice fish on a lake and walk right out to the edge, they're cold. I mean, that cold, go to the holes,
Yeah,
but the ice was that thick right on the edge.
You don't want.
in the springs, springs coming into it, but they're big.
Well, every day.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, it's an older.
Yeah, but.
Thanks.
I think we can move into the appointment of Kathy Gillis to the Phillipsburg Community Library Board discussions. And decision.
I'd make a motion that we go ahead and put Kathy Gillis to the Phillipsburg Community Library Board.
There's a second,
In a second.
okay, is there any public comment?
Who's placing tank, Billy?
Barbara Cahill. She'll finish that term.
Who's the chairman of the library board?
There is not one right now.
So is your board full now?
I've gotten off that board.
Oh, you're off the board?
I am. There is, so currently on the board, there will be Kathy, Sue Sweeney, Charlene Buka, and then who is it? The other person has to be appointed by the there's Nicholas Rapp, and then who's the other person? Bethany. I can't remember her name, but they have to elect chairs. They have some or elect officers.
I think we're gonna take a recess until the next agenda item at 10 o'clock. Our next agenda item is our treasurer position interviews, and we will not be on Zoom. The doors are still open, but we're not going to have the Zoom session going. So we will get back on Zoom when we are appointing the Granite County interim treasurer. What?
Is inevitable.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Okay.
After the interviews, we decided to take.
So the position, the interviews were with Ashley Todd and Lauren Robbins. And the appointment is at 10:50.
You guys already did it.
I know we did.
Oh. I thought you
But
were asking
We've
me.
got, 10:50 is the next agenda item. Do we say what it is now, or do we wait till 10:50?
We can say over there.
Okay, so
It's not like-
our decision was Ashley Todd. She picked what the needs were for the treasurer's position. And she will be appointed on March 1st. And with that, we'll recess until 11 o'clock.
Yeah, good job.
Our next agenda item is quarterly meeting with FERC, discussion and decision. I see Kareem is there, so you wanted to go ahead and start us off?
Jeremiah's on too.
We can't hear you, Kareem. You're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
How's that?
There we go.
All right.
Good.
Yeah, I got too many devices going on at the same time. But yeah, I wanted to say thanks for allowing me to have this quarterly call with you guys, with the commissioners. We do appreciate that. So trying to coordinate with the licensees that I'm responsible for to have conversations kind of, once a quarter. Can I go over any open items that there might be, to address any issues or questions or comments that you might have for us, the commission, so we get to know each other, because again, I'm relatively new to the Flint Creek project overall. So this is a great opportunity for us to kind of get to know each other a little more, talk about any open items that are out there. So I sent Billy Ann last night a kind of a really brief outline of the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit. The goal of these conversations is not really to get into the details of any outstanding submittals or issuances from the commission, or really to get down into the weeds on any technical items. I think we can do that in a separate conversations. I think that would be more appropriate. But this is kind of just a kind of high level what's going on with the project overall, and kind of where we are with certain things, and to kind of keep the communication avenue open going forward. So with that, I'm happy to jump in unless anybody has a question or comment they want to start with for me.
Does anybody have any questions? Well, apparently not, Kareem.
Okay, excellent. All right, great. So there have been a couple items that came in recently. I know late last year we had a conversation, late in 2023, we had a conversation about some overdue submittal items that we were tracking on our end here at the FERC in the Portland region. I really do appreciate the commissioners, Jeremiah, everybody kind of working together to get that stuff to us, get responses to us. There are a number of items that came in that we're currently logging into our system and starting to get the review process going for me specifically. So you'll be hearing back from me on certain items over the next couple of weeks. If there's any major questions that I have, I'll shoot an email out to Billy Ann to kind of coordinate another discussion or to get a conversation going. So what I've got so far, we received a 2022 DSSMR for the project, so thanks for that. The EAP status report, which included I think included a plan and schedule for submittal of the full EAP later this year, so that's appreciated. Just kind of let you know that was received. What else is there? I have on my list an ODSP corrective plan schedule. That is appreciated. I think the previous project engineer is going to review that one because it does fall under the Part 12, which was done in 2021. I believe that addresses some comments from the independent consultants. So again, not getting into super details about it. I believe there was something that we had asked for that as a response to one of the IC comments. And so I think the previous project engineer is going to review that, but I haven't coordinated with them just yet to talk about it. But just let you know that we have gotten it, is received. What else is there? The DSSMP, so that's the Dam Safety Surveillance and Monitoring Plan, which is Section 7 of your STID document. There were comments last year about that when I was reviewing the surveillance and monitoring report. And so I saw with the SMR submittal that there was an update to the SMP included in one document. So what we'll probably do, just as a heads up, is we'll most likely ask for that to be separated and resubmitted as a complete document. What I mean by that is the SMP itself. But I haven't had a discussion with the regional engineer just yet. It's kind of to Doug's discretion as to if he would want that resubmitted as a complete document. So there's a lot of acronyms in there. So if there's any questions about that before I move on, just let me know.
Question, anyone?
Just listening.
Nope. Okay. All right, great. So just be aware, again, with that submittal for the monitoring report and the monitoring plan, we may ask for them to be separated. But that's just for Doug to decide. I haven't spoken to Doug about it just yet. We'll see where the decision comes down with that one. So Doug Johnson is the regional engineer for Portland branch. What else? We talked about the emergency action plan. So we got that. And I think that EAP submittal, I think it addressed 3 open items that we were tracking on our end here. So again, it may take me a little bit to get back to you about that one, but yeah. I skimmed it really quickly yesterday morning, and it looks like everything that we would ask for is in there. But if anything's missing, I'll just get in contact with Jackie Bolster, and Billy Ann to coordinate a conversation, to see, if we need anything else, for that submittal. So with that, I mean, that was great to have all those come in and ended last year, beginning of this year in January. Really do appreciate the commissioners, Granite County really kind of getting on top of those and getting those out to us. That's extremely helpful, going forward. And like I said, I'll get back to you, the commissioners, or we will get back to the commission, not me specifically, with any comments that we have on any of the submittals that had come in.
Kareem, this is Jackie.
That's what I have.
Can you
Hey,
hear me?
Jackie. Yep, I got you.
So Billy and I are working on that right now. In fact, we're gonna work tomorrow on it again on the EAP. If you could get
Okay.
those questions or what we need to be, your questions, the sooner the better while we're working on this.
I'll do the best I can. I can't guarantee you'll get a. I know. I can't guarantee I'll be able to get a response to you pretty quickly.
Okay.
But I'll look at it. I'll take a look at it. Let you know. And yeah, if there's anything major that stands out, I'll definitely let you know. But you're talking about the submittal, the actual full report. Is that correct?
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I think any comments I have should have been already in a letter out, or the commission. Any comments the commission had should already be in a letter out to you guys. So, but I'll take a look. I'll take another look. I'll peruse through again. Take a look at the status report. See if there's anything in there that really stands out as a item that we should try to address before the full report gets submitted back to us. So I'll do the best I can. I can't guarantee I'll get back to you anytime soon, but meaning like in the next week or so. But I'll do the best I can.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and if there's any questions that you have, like if you're preparing and you're like, well, we put that in the status report, I really need to know if that's going to be an item they want to address in a full report, just shoot me an email, please. And we can start our conversation a lot sooner than getting into a letter writing campaign about the emergency action plan.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hey, Jackie, this is Jeremiah. When I'm around tomorrow, if you, when you and Billy Ann start chatting about that, if you want to give me a call, we can go through things, because I've got all the correspondence. So basically the comments from FERC that I can get to you. And then the other thing we'll want to do too is pull up the after action plan report from the functional and make sure that we review that and include any necessary changes from that AAR from the functional that we had last time.
Okay, yeah, we'll probably give you a call in the after. We're gonna meet at 1 o'clock, Jeremiah.
Okay, yeah, just give me a call.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great point, Jeremiah. If there's anything from the after action report, definitely want to make sure they get addressed in the full report. So that's a good thing to bring up. So another item I had on my list is just the recent issuances from us, meaning the commission, the FERC commission. The big item is the dam safety surveillance and monitoring report. Sorry. The dam safety inspection report for 2020.
We just lost you.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, we're back. Am I back?
Get back.
Okay. So yeah, the big item for me in terms of the recent issuances from the FBRC is the dam safety inspection report. So that came out last week, I believe. So that was a CEI document, sent it to Jackie, Jeremiah, not Jackie, Billy Ann, Jeremiah, and I believe Ms. McClure. So you should have that. Please take a look through there. If there's anything in there that we need to talk about, any questions or comments about any of the observations that I had made, that we reported on in there, I encourage you to talk. We can talk about it before we get into the next inspection, which we'll talk about probably at the next quarterly call. We'll talk about that, like preparing for that. But again, just please take a look through. There's a lot of information in there, obviously, because there's pretty decent coverage of information. But if any questions that you have about any observations or statements that are made in there, just let me know. I'll do the best I can to address any questions or comments that the commissioners have. As part of the review, so as part of the preparation of that safety inspection report, we had issued out a follow-up letter, and there was an item in there where we asked, I don't have it open in front of me, I forget exactly what it was, but we asked for something to be done in the next SMR submittal. Jeremiah, is that correct? I'm kind of going off of whim here, but I believe we asked for something in the next SMR submittal. And I think you said you're going to try and incorporate that into one that's coming up pretty soon. Is that correct?
I'm muted there.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Again, if there's any questions about that supplemental follow-up item, again, it's in writing. It was submitted to the commissioners about what we're asking for. Just don't hesitate to reach out and ask questions, and we'll do the best we can to try to address those, to point in the right direction of what we're looking for. But in general, I think overall the project was reported to be in good condition, or satisfactory condition, and we look forward to continuing to being out there again this year. Again, we'll talk about that in the next quarterly call about when we're going to try to schedule that inspection. But there was no major issues that were observed within the report. But again, take a look through. Any questions about that, just please let me know.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So there are a couple other items. So kind of just a brief update where we are in terms of review of some really big reports that came in last year and a couple of years before. So 2021 CSIR, so that's the Consultant Safety Inspection Report. That's your IC report that was completed in 2020, 2021 timeframe. That was for the third part 12. That's the big inspection where you have your independent consultant do your review. That's still with us for review. We're working on getting a lot of those reports out, reviewed and out this year, especially the ones that we've done that were out in 2021. We have a backlog, obviously. We're doing the best we can to get through those reports as quickly as we can, as efficiently as we can, and provide feedback to the licensees about any issues that we observe within those reports during our review. It does take us time to get through it. We're shorthanded. There's no sugarcoating it, but we're doing the best we can to get through those. If there are any items that we observe as we're reviewing that report, we will definitely let you know. Right now, that report is being reviewed by the previous FERC engineer, so it's in their hands. I haven't touched base with them recently to find out where they are with it, with their review process, but I have looked at it myself, and I've had some comments in there, but we're trying to coordinate our comments into one letter feedback to you guys, to y'all, so you understand what we're looking for and to make sure we get everything addressed correctly and efficiently. So that's still with us. It's still out there. It was submitted 2021. I think that was Rev 2 or 2 of that report that came to us. It's going to take us a bit to get through it, but if we notice anything major, we'll definitely let you know. The other one I wanted to briefly touch on was the PMF report. So that was Rev 3 of the probable maximum flood report. Again, that was comments were submitted on that. Comments were issued on that report from us. I think it was like the end of 2022, and a revised report came in 2023 from Granite County commissioners. It's with me for review. Rev 3. I've thumbed through it quickly. Nothing major in there. Nothing major stands out at the moment, but because it is newer to me, it's taking me a little bit longer to get through it. But my understanding is that although that report is a Rev 3, it doesn't change some of the PMF elevation of the project, doesn't change some of the flood flow. So I don't see it making any, I don't see it having a major impact on anything in terms of revising any of the known information, current information at use of the project. But because it's still under review, technically under review, we'll get back to you officially on that. Hopefully sometime in the next couple months or so. It's on my to-do list to get through that one. Doug Johnson has asked me to prioritize that a review to kind of get it complete because it has been hanging out there for a little bit. But just want to let you know that we haven't forgotten about it. We do have it and we are reviewing it. It's just going to take us a little bit to get through it. Any questions? I know I've been talking kind of like quickly and fast on certain things, but if you have any questions or comments about anything I've talked about at the moment, just I'll pause for a second, give everybody a chance.
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. So, and the last thing I have today. So there's one open investigation that we're tracking for the project, and that is the DSHA, the Deterministic Seismic Hazard Assessment. So that report, we are tracking it to be due June of 2024, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's a time frame for it. And I just want to just as a gentle reminder, that report has been an extension of time was requested for that report in, I believe it was October of last year, and it was granted through the regional engineer granted an extension of time on that one. I want to remind just gentle reminder to keep us informed on the progress with that one before you get down into June, because if you do need another extension of time to get that submitted to us, I don't know if you're going to get it.
Do you have a question, Jackie?
Yes, what was that you just said? What did you call that, Kareem?
It's the DSHA, so the Deterministic Seismic Hazard Assessment. So I believe you have a consultant working on that one, I believe.
Yep, it's HDR is working on that, and it's I need to check back in with them. We should have a draft submittal I just looked back at some correspondence. We should have a draft at any point in time. So I'll check back in with them.
Okay.
So yeah, we should have that, but I know they were on track to get us a draft and then still meet that June deliverable.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a long.
Yeah. So the reason I bring that up is, again, because there was an extension of time request made for that particular evaluation. I just want to, let you guys know that the regional engineer is aware of the time extension, and we really want to make sure you don't miss it and have to make another request, because I don't think he's going to be granted on this one. So let us know way in advance if you can, if you're running to any kind of hiccups where you think you may not be able to hit that deadline, and it would be appreciated so we can hopefully avoid any unnecessary correspondence.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll I just sent an email to them. I'll check back in. If schedule's delayed or something, we'll let you know. But at this point, I'm not seeing anything.
Okay. So I guess in general, that's what I wanted to talk about. I mean, I definitely have some other things I'm interested in at the moment, but I feel like we can hold off on those until the next quarterly conversation. I know there's been a number of submittals have been received, which is greatly appreciated. So we'll do our best to get through those. I'll do my best to get through those and get responses back to the commission in as timely as possible, keeping in mind my other workload I have going on, but also to take a look at the emergency action plan status report. So I'll prioritize that one, Jackie, and get comments back to the commissioners as soon as I possibly can, especially if there's anything I notice in there that that I think should get addressed.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, we lost you again, Kareem.
Well, I said, that's great. And, you got me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just let me know. We'll do the best we can, going forward. Any comments or questions? I guess the other question, the one thing that I just thought about, as we're kind of having this conversation, is the dam tender, are they up to speed on their, on the training you were thinking to get them by the end of last year?
Yep, we completed that late last fall. So you know, we did earlier in the year, we did an office training. I think it was June timeframe, to kind of go through everything. And then I don't know the exact date, middle of or late November, we were able to do additional on-site training. So the dam tender training has all been completed, and he's up to speed on everything.
That's great to hear. Okay, fantastic. And again, when we get into our next quarterly conversation, I'll probably dig into that a little bit more, because when I'm out there, when I plan to be out there for the inspection, whenever that's going to be sometime this year, definitely going to be quizzing him just to make sure everything's up to speed. Because I know he's still new to the project, obviously, but we want to make sure that the person who's out there on a more consistent basis is really up to speed on what's going on, the things they need to monitor and be aware of at the project on a consistent basis.
Okay, is that it, Kareem?
Yeah, that's it. Unless you guys
Hey.
have questions for me.
Nope, no questions here.
Alrighty.
So-
Well, again, I appreciate everybody's time as always. If there are any follow-up items that you would like to discuss, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, call me, email me, whatever. I'll do the best I can to get back to you. But again, thanks again, and look forward to keep working with y'all going forward.
Thank you, Kareem.
Thanks, Kareem. Have a good
All right,
day.
thanks everybody.
Billy
Yeah.
Ann, I was just gonna say, Billy Ann, just let Jared know he's got a quiz coming up at some point in time, so you better
Yeah,
start.
I will make sure he's
I mean,
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you,
All
thank
right.
you.
All right,
Thank you.
take care.
Bye-bye.
No decision that we have to make, no motion to be made. So we'll see you at the next quarterly meeting. All right, so with that, we will go into resolution 2024-7, second revised public participation resolution, first readings.
So you want me to give some
Sure.
background?
Yeah.
You talked about potentially doing some bylaws. I thought the bylaws were a little redundant with their public participation resolution and statute. And so we looked at the public participation resolution. It had Mike Cahoe's name in it, so there's some potentially some places that may not be posting. And so I had the idea, or we had the idea of potentially Clinton Market, because a lot of people from Rock Creek go there to shop. So
Yeah.
some ideas there.
Yeah, I left the highlights on the ones you changed so people could see what has been updated, and I did reach out to the posting places to kind of confirm and work with them, and Clinton Market can post it, so,
Okay.
and I got rid of some of the ones that can't, so.
Do you have a comment, Scott? Nope. Do you, Chuck? Nope. Being this is the first reading, any public comment? There's no decision. No public comment, then I think we can move on.
I was gonna say too, I like to have the advertisement in the Phillipsburg Mail Weekly. People then can know where they can go online to the website. The website has it all, so you got this really goes above and beyond, I think, but I like that you do that, have it
Yeah, and we do that right.
every
Every week. Any other public comment? So I guess we can move on to our next agenda item, which is Montana Safety Culture Act Did Jackie leave us? Isn't she gonna?
She left her notes and stuff. She
Oh,
was back.
they're not here yet, though. This is,
So we got a couple minutes before that. We'll be starting that session at 11:30, that agenda item.
Sounds good. Did anyone stay for the interviews? Stay for the interviews? Okay, that's sure, that's good. I just listen. Keeping the peace.
are you guys staying on until 11, until Rhodey and everybody gets here, or
Say that again.
are you guys staying on until Rhodey gets here? Were you
It's only a
reading?
couple minutes.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
They're coming in.
I believe so. They're doing that training for department heads and everybody, so
How's it going?
Brody and Mark.
Very, very good. They've got a minute before we start. You want to check out outside?
I'd love to.
Chatting about it private now. Go to the office or?
Yeah.
First, Really have that position advertised.
Which one?
The public health nurse.
I do.
All right, excellent.
I do. Got a candidate already and people
That's not
are
what we're talking.
interested and, yeah, I've got it going in the paper. It's on the website. It's on Indeed, and DPHHS has sent it to all of the counties and all of their partners, so.
Who else is gonna be here for this next agenda item?
Brody and Mark.
They need up here. Sit back
know.
here.
We'll see when they get here.
I'll sit on the floor.
We can pull them
I
up.
think they'll bring the snacks.
Sure, so.
Snacks.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
Oh, Discovery's got some snow. That's good.
Yeah, they needed it.
Town's been dead. Yeah, I'll pick things up.
Who made the joke that all the snow they were making was melting and going into the lake? That's why the level kept rising. Who told me that?
That might have probably true.
Cause I was like, the lake level keeps rising and
Yeah.
someone's like, it's all the snow Disco's making.
Sluice box was there. I guess they were making it more.
Yeah.
Jubilee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a rough year as far
They've
as.
had a really rough year. I'm glad they're finally getting some snow.
What do they do for season ticket holder? Do they extend it at all for next year?
I mean, I have a
They
pass
have
and
once in the past, but I got some good snow later in the year. I remember that, but otherwise you just out in here. With my experience have been.
act of nature.
Hello.
Hello, how are y'all?
Good. Very good. I'm good, man. Good.
Wow.
Not bad. Maybe I'll sit down with you guys. Straight. Yeah.
Well, how's Jed and Caleb's campaigns going?
Caleb's got very interesting. Another guy got in,
All jumped in?
Yeah.
Republican?
and so it's gonna be a three-way,
Wow,
maybe a four-way primary. And
that's probably his
the other
benefit,
guy's
though.
been in the legislature for generation.
And I was.
He had his break or whatever and come back.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's good to have the experience that politics is usually these people with new ideas.
But it's seems to be more interested.
They're both running for House. I'm sure taxes are top of everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Linda.
Roads all right at the moment?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bad.
Yeah, they're. Well, howdy doody. Are we all here or are we still waiting for,
Brody,
are they gonna
And Mark.
come or zoom in? In person or?
I think they're coming in first.
Waiting on some participants here for the next agenda item. Informing Zoom land.
I just sent that to you. Molly.
oh,
Unless I erased it.
yeah.
That's the same.
Yeah, can't do that.
Okay, there was two of them. So
There's one campsite.
I just read through it yesterday. It's got some great information. There you go.
Mom started swearing she's never, so I already mentioned, it's like, I'm just thinking about one, yeah.
But this is done some good.
When I was a kid, I couldn't even use the word but, I'd say bomb.
Yeah, and I went to another training that they have written books on like for little children, like how wife's grandma do this or grandpa do that. There's great books for if you have little ones that was trying to explain what's going on.
Yeah, it's a good idea. My kids understand, but yeah, yeah, little.
Yeah, yeah,
kids, yeah.
Because we have some, people that have it, they have little grandkids and they're like, what about, so we got the books for them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I was.
It was. I use that breathing when I run.
So yes, it's gonna be recorded and then like.
Okay, second one just.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody knows how many red books.
Are they giving the training?
Some. What I said was true.
Pardon?
They're giving the training.
Mhm.
That's why I was.
I don't know. Someone just got on.
It's in the paper,
No, Amelia, yes.
so talk about Peter.
What's the smiley face?
She's
That's a
laughing.
laughing face from Elena. Things were funny.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of what I was thinking too. Usually he's here early when he has stuff
So do you know if they're
on the agenda.
Oh, I have a voicemail.
From him?
I don't know who.
But that Mark was coming to.
Yeah, Mark Rosenleaf. No.
So what's Mark's last name?
Rosenleaf? Rosenleaf? He's with State Fund. He's their safety
They're
specialist.
supposedly on Zoom, but
They're on Zoom.
Maybe they're the leaders of one.
That one jumped off.
hello, we don't see you on here.
It's.
You. And you have the right Zoom address. I'm presuming.
I'm gonna send it to him. I guess.
Yeah, we're.
Let them
we're
in,
all-
Billy, or they get on automatically.
No, I have to let him, that'll pop up like in the top, it'll say waiting room.
Okay. So it should be
Yeah, we
quick.
never saw you on here at all.
I'm sending him the link. Okay, I just sent him the link.
Okay, who did you send it to?
Brody, I just
Billy
emailed it.
Sent the link back to Brody. Are you with them? Okay. Okay, sounds great. Okay. bye.
technical difficulties today.
Huh?
Technical difficulties today.
I was waiting for you. Where are you? You're not.
Where did they go?
Song place.
I should have worked, but I had got it all this year. I would post. They got it. Strong. I don't. Yeah.
This is what happens. I turn my phone on.
Yeah, I don't.
See, I could be picked up the pot now.
Why would he got?
Some type for hopefully it's there.
Oh yeah, it's my ruffle,
Billy's big, favorite style.
my ruffle fern.
I love it.
I got that really little at the thrift store. And
Oh,
that's
that's
one of the, yeah, I got a whole bunch of plants at the thrift store years ago. That's one of the babies that's now big, because the one I have is so big, I have to put it in the bathtub to water it, and I can't, it's giant. Yeah.
So we're gonna get, I guess, the presentation on Zoom if you guys wanna come forward a little bit.
Oh, here, we can
Where you
just turn
hear.
this. We can also just turn it.
With that.
Oh, but then you guys can't see
Yeah,
it.
we can.
You guys can all come up.
It's yours.
If we.
You don't have it. Bring your chairs.
Have my seat.
I watched this many times. And
What's this about?
The Montana Safety Culture Act, it's the law.
Montana
It says
Safety
why
Culture.
we have, like, why we do the safety committee, why we do all the programs we do in the training. It's the why.
Do you want to share, Jackie?
No, I'm getting over
You can sit next to me. I'm over here, but I don't know if he's gonna show his little face or not.
He's still not on here. Are we?
Let's say cameras and mics on.
It's still not popping up. I don't know. Is it? Our internet was funky when Kareem was on. Is it off?
See if I can get on.
Yeah, maybe. It's ringing. I don't know if it's, they would call you. I don't want to take a call there. Yeah, it should pop up under participants. It would pop up like waiting to be admitted. Oh, there's Blaine.
Oh, are you
Yeah.
able to get on?
See, Blaine popped up in there.
It's
You are?
their
It's on their end.
Yeah.
Okay. They said they're on.
All right, reschedule.
But you're not appearing on ours.
Uh-uh.
Technical.
Well, I mean, I think you guys have like an hour for it.
An hour?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 45 minutes.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Have them go to the website and log in or go to the,
he just sent us both this link,
okay.
so. Zoom link, try this one.
I'm trying there. Well, I can't get on it on this one, but, and I don't have the other laptop and this has no sound.
So is he trying to access through his phone? Or is he on a?
No, I'm sure he's on a computer. He has a whole PowerPoint presentation.
Just tell to email it to us all or whatever,
Because
it's not coming through, obviously.
I don't have another computer to use to,
And I don't.
The
I didn't
sound.
mind. So join this Zoom meeting,
so
but will this work if we join this Zoom meeting?
not because we're already in one. Right?
Right.
So how should we do that? Because I could close this one and open that one, but then it won't be an open. Yeah, with the public wouldn't be able to see the rest of this meeting. But I can't be in.
Did
two
they
meetings
receive the
at
link
once.
from Billy? And still can't get out? I just clicked on it from my phone on the link.
Yeah.
Your time is ticking, ticking. Yeah.
Here's Mark.
Oh, there.
Well, this is just me. We can't get it to come up on our monitor
Because we're in an open meeting on ours,
Yeah, we're in
so
an
I
open
can't
meeting.
get out of it.
in ours. So you're just on my phone.
Did you guys spend that second week, I say, yeah?
Yeah, but we can't open that with Billy, and then the public can't be on the meeting.
Because we're in a meeting, so I can't get into Zoom meetings simultaneously on my laptop.
Did you hear Billy?
Yeah, can you just forward that link off to the rest of your people?
Well, no, because it's the public. It's open to the public, so there's members of the public viewing it via Zoom.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just for your employees.
No, because we have all the commissioners here, so it's quorum.
Oh,
Can he just send it to us?
Did you record the presentation?
no, not yet.
No, not yet.
Today.
And you clicked on the link I sent you and it won't let you in?
Oh, let me try that one. Okay, okay, let me try that one.
Okay, yeah, click on that one.
Click on that one.
Try it.
And then I'll see if you come up in my meeting. There you are.
I see you, Brody. Oh, I saw you, Brody.
And then I'm gonna make you a co-host, so now you should be able to share screen and do everything else that you want to do.
Okay, Brody's on. Where's your faces? Where's your pretty little faces? Turn those cameras on. There you go.
You're not talking to me.
Hi.
All right, sorry that we had so many
My
issues.
camera somehow is making me come up sideways, so I shut it down.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know that you had to do the, I thought you guys were trying to get on my end. I apologize. I didn't know that with the public that you had to do that, so.
Yes, sorry.
Yep, no big deal. So, Mark's gonna go first.
So Mark, here, let me. Let them all go. Brody.
Billy is going to send you the link. Mark.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
So you're recording it already on your end?
So I am recording it and
Okay.
then it'll be
Awesome.
part of our full recorded meeting, and then do you know how to edit that
Me?
down? Yeah,
I don't.
we'll figure it out together.
Okay, sounds good. And I could see if our IT people would maybe know how to do it too.
Okay, perfect.
So Mark, are you going to get on that link that Billy sent you to get on our meeting?
I just emailed it.
She just emailed it to you.
Right?
Sorry for all the confusion.
No, sorry.
I just thought that with the one I sent, you could just forward it off, because that's usually how we do it. But I didn't know we had to have a whole other link.
And maybe it would be best if we rescheduled it, maybe. Yeah, because we only have so much. We have,
And if you would like, we can do it outside of a commissioners meeting, and then we don't have to do the public thing, and we can forward it
So
to you
there's
all.
40 minutes left. They can get it done in 40 minutes.
can you get it done in 40 minutes, Brody?
I think so, don't you, Mark?
Well,
Yeah, I think mine's only like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it's not gonna be a long process. I think we can get it done.
okay, Mark, I think is joining this direction now.
Okay. There's Rhodey. I don't think Mark gets
Yeah,
it.
Rhodey. Okay, awesome.
Can we have your camera on, please?
Me. But Rhodey's just
Rhodey.
got on.
Where'd you go?
He's right there.
Brody's
He's here, he's gone.
Oh, he's sideways.
Here he is. Crooked face.
Okay, now we're waiting
That's
for
not
Mark. Uh-huh,
We're trying to get Mark.
uh-huh.
I guess. I don't know who it's on. Mark is. I have no clue what's on.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
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 Awesome. And then whenever Mark gets on,
Oh, there he is.
is Mark on?
He's joining right now.
Okay, cool.
And then,
Okay, hey Mark, how you doing?
hold on, I gotta make him co-host so he can mute and do all the things. He's good. He can unmute.
Okay, Mark, how you, okay, you're on now, Mark.
Okay, yeah, this looks better.
And I'll just run the PowerPoint. Yeah, we can get this done well within 40 minutes. That will not be a problem at all. So,
Alrighty,
how's everybody doing today? Sorry for all the confusion. I thought I set up the meeting and I didn't realize it had to be a public forum. So at least we got everybody where they need to be. So my name is Brody Lusheen. I'm the risk prevention specialist with Marsh McLennan Insurance. And I'm teaming up with Mark Rosenleek today of Montana State Fund. He's their loss prevention specialist. So Mark is going to do this first part of the training for me, and then I will do the second part. So what we're going to discuss today is the Montana Safety Culture Act and accident reporting. This is just a really important thing for the state of Montana. It's really important that you guys know why your county has to follow a lot of the rules and regulations in the state, because it's enforced by the Montana Safety Culture Act, which then would be enforced by the Montana Department of Labor. And you guys have got a lot of Montana Department of Labor inspections over the years. So this just kind of gives you a little bit of reason why we do these inspections. And then also on the call, I just want to mention is Rody Holman. He is the producer on the account. He's the agent. So he's here as well. So if you have any questions on any of this information, please feel free to reach out to me, Rody, or Mark. All right. You want to start it off, Mark?
Okay, yeah, thanks, Brody. Yeah, so my name is Mark Rosenleaf. I'm the Safety Management Consultant for Montana State Fund. We provide your workers' compensation insurance, and we have a vested interest in keeping you safe and healthy. I love the Montana Safety Culture Act. Most of my policyholders, they do some parts of it to some extent. But if everybody would just jump in and do all of what's required by the Safety Culture Act, we'd dramatically we dramatically impact the number of injuries we have in workplaces across the state. So that said, let me dig into this. So there's 6 basic requirements of the Montana Safety Culture Act, and the Safety Culture Act started in 1993. So it's been around a while, 30 plus years. And the first one is new employee safety orientation. You've got to teach employees, show employees, train employees what they're going to be exposed to and how to keep themselves safe around that. The next one is task-specific training. So if you're going to run the empty squat machine, you've got to be trained on the empty squat machine before you ever operate that machine. Refresher safety training, that's, I classify that as things like slips, trips, and falls, proper lifting training, back injury prevention. You could throw first aid, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you can throw in that. It's just stuff we all need to know, and it's got to be done on a regular basis. Now I tell discussion. I'm sorry, what was that?
We couldn't hear you for a second, but now you're
Oh.
back.
So I'm talking about refresher safety training. It's got to be done on a regular schedule. And I tell my policyholders to mix it up a little bit. Have an outside speaker come in and talk about manual material handling. And then the next year when you do it, do something different. But that stuff should always be ongoing. And really safety, or a large part of safety, isn't teaching people stuff they don't know. We're just trying to remind them of stuff that they already know, or encourage them to do things in a safer manner. That's a huge part of safety. The next requirement is self-inspection. And these inspections should be documented. So you should be going through your facilities and your equipment annually. And then of course, forklift inspections, and you get into trucking, and you have to have a walk around every day. Do those things, document those things as necessary. It's important stuff. All of these things have to be documented. That's another basic requirement of the Safety Culture Act. If it didn't get documented, it didn't happen. And then the last one on the list is safety awareness promotion. That can be done in 100 different ways. And I meant to say that the Safety Culture Act was written purposely very generally. It kind of gives you not even a roadmap, just kind of ways to do things, because there's so many different ways to do it right. They didn't want to pigeonhole anybody into a certain something. So there's 100 different ways you can do safety awareness promotion. Flyers, emails, phone calls, posters, incentive programs, bonuses, just, there's 100 different ways to do it. So figure out what works for your organization and run with it. Next slide, please, Brody. So I think Brody already talked about the Montana Department of Labor and Industry, and they're the ones that enforce the Montana Safety Culture Act. Now, nobody's coming to write you a ticket for not complying with the act, but when they do visit with you, they're going to be looking at how does Granite County comply with these different aspects of the act. And like I said, 100 different ways to do all of it. So the Department of Labor comes in and kind of does what OSHA doesn't. Do you want to jump in on that a little bit, Brody? Is that good?
Yeah, so basically what the Montana Department of Labor and Industry is going to do, they're going to come in and they're actually going to enforce the OSHA regulations. So in the state of Montana, all private sector falls under federal OSHA, but all public sector like cities, counties, schools, they all fall under the Montana Department of Labor and Industry. And technically, under the Montana Department of Labor and Industry, they can fine $1,000 per incident if they come in. I've never seen them actually fine a county or a city, but they do have the capability to do that. But one thing that they could do if it's a big project and they find a safety hazard and they have to shut it down, it can cost the county a lot of money because they're going to lose out time on that project. So, time and money. So there's a lot. It's really, really important that you follow those rules and regulations. Not just because of the Montana Safety Culture Act, but the state of Montana as a whole has one of the highest fatality rates in the country. So it's really, really important that you follow the OSHA rules and regulations. So, but that's what the Montana Department of Labor is doing. So you're not getting away from OSHA. They're just actually enforcing those rules and regulations.
Okay, thanks, Brody. And I would say OSHA standards, you should know which ones apply to whatever industry you happen to be working in. But OSHA standards are the bare minimum that you have to do. I would encourage you to look toward best practices. So OSHA standards, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee safety. Look at every task and say, what do we need to do to accomplish this safely? And if it's over and above OSHA standards, so be it. Do it that way. All righty, next slide, Brody. So there are some additional requirements for employers that have more than 5 employees. So there's safety, responsibility, and accountability. Who's responsible for what? What does that look like? What do we do when it doesn't happen? That sort of thing needs to be built into your policies and procedures, be built into your performance reviews, all that good stuff. I'm a fan of what I call safety from beginning to end. You see, you find a job posting, and in there somewhere is mentions of safety. And so you apply for the job, and on the application, there's more stuff about safety. And then you get an interview. They talk about safety. Maybe you get a second interview. They address safety again. You hire the person, you get the initial training, task-specific training, talking about safety. And then years maybe go by, and then you leave your job, and they pull you into the office on your last day and say, hey, as you walk out the door, is there anything we could do better that would make it safer for the people that are still here? I like that whole accountability and responsibility thing. Incident investigation and reporting is important. Everything from the near misses and closed calls, whatever you want to call them, to big events that hopefully don't happen, but they may. And I'm talking employee injury, I'm talking property damage, because one can lead to the other pretty easily. So investigate incidents with the goal of finding the root cause. Why did that happen? Okay, why did that happen? Use 5 whys, and you'll get to pretty close to a root cause. And then put something in place to prevent that from happening again. Safety committee. I'm a big fan of safety committees. The Montana Safety Culture Act requires them because they want employees and employers to come together to work through safety issues as a team, rather than management pushing it down or employees inventing it on their own. The two don't work independently. got to work together. Next slide, please. Requirements of a safety committee. They should be made up of employer and employee representatives. And I like about a 1-to-4 ratio of employer to employee representatives. Somewhere in there. You got to have management on the team to provide context of things that are going on, or to maybe provide a little muscle when it's needed, that sort of thing. But I love it if a line level employee outside of safety is running the safety committee. I really like that. But yeah, employee representatives. They should be either volunteers or elected by their peers. Either is fine, whatever works. And regularly scheduled meetings, which you guys do, got to be held at least every 4 months, and you guys haven't reported any, so you're compliant there. And they should be tasked with assisting the employer in fact finding. I like it when safety committees break down losses and say, okay, our 3 or 4 major losses are slip, trips, and falls, manual material handling, I don't know, maybe motor vehicle accidents and struck by incidents. And then maybe a couple people, you create subcommittees on each of those. And there's a couple people in each of those subcommittees, each one looking specifically at whatever issue is impacting your organization. And, putting things in place and bringing them back to the committee so that they can act on that stuff. Next one, Brody. I think that's it. So that's it for me. Does anybody have any questions on any of that?
So I guess I'll take over from here. So a safety program is not going to work unless you get commitment of your upper management. It doesn't matter what the organization is. It has to come from the top down, because if upper management doesn't care, or your commissioners don't care about safety, then the normal employee is not going to care about safety. So it's something that has to take part at every level within an organization. So it's really, really important that your top officials make sure that they promote safety. And if safety violations are happening, it's important that they address those and come up with ways on how they're going to prevent it from happening in the future. So the elected officials in the departments are responsible for the following. I am going to read all these. I know I hate reading word for word, but it's just important that we go over these because these are really important elements of the Montana Safety Culture Act. Ensure that design, maintenance of facilities, tools, equipment, and vehicles meet or exceed established safety standards. So, if you're the manager of a department and you know that that copy machine's not working, or if you're part of the road crew and you're having a defective tool, make sure that you take that item out of service. It's really, really important that you get it fixed, because if you don't get it fixed, then that's when injuries happen. Or maybe you have a policy or a procedure that somebody's got injured on. Maybe that's something that you got to take a look at. Maybe you have to revamp that policy or procedure. So just make sure that if you're a supervisor, that you take these things into consideration. Approve and ensure usage of policies, procedures, and safe work practices for department occupation, tasks, or locations. And also make sure that if you get a new employee that comes into your department, make sure that they're aware of all the policies and procedures. Make sure that they're aware of on how to operate those pieces of equipment. One of the piece of equipment. Could you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so one of the things that they're going to ask for when they come in and they, the Department of Labor, when they come in, they're going to say, was that employee trained on that piece of equipment? And did they have access to that operator's manual? And it's really, really important that you train your employee on that equipment and that they have access to that operator's manual, because there's a lot of really important information in those operators manuals books. So just make sure that, all that stuff is available to the employee, that they're trained on it, and then make sure that they're documented on it. Because like Mark said earlier, if you didn't document it, it never happened. Approve and ensure usage of safety training requirements for the department employees based on their occupation, work locations, and tasks. So again, make sure that all your new hires and even your current employees are getting trained on a regular basis. It's really, really important. One, you want to make sure you do that new employee orientation, but two, you also want to make sure that you're doing refresher training, especially on items that might be a high risk. So like for the road department, lockout, tagout would be a perfect example. Another would be bloodborne pathogens for your for the cops and for the anybody that deals with blood. So it's really important that you do that annual safety training, and that is required under OSHA regulations. So just make sure that you're doing that, and again, make sure that it's documented. Review department incident reports, incident investigations, and department injury and illness trends. Resolve and correct any action issues. So make sure, like Mark said, when you go through and you look at some of the accidents you guys have done in the county, if there's ones that there was a serious injury, maybe an accident investigation needed to take place. If that accident investigation took place, you want to make sure that you found the root cause and what happened. And then make sure that once you found out what happened, that you come up with a procedure on how you're going to fix it in the future to prevent it from happening. And then make sure that you train your employees on what those recommendations are on how to correct that action. Review workplace inspections and direct appropriate corrective action to achieve a safe work environment. So under the Montana Department of Labor, each location should be done at least once annually. This is something that you can actually put on the safety committee. Just pick maybe the Phillipsburg Road Crew Shop one quarter, but that's something that you can do within your departments, but make sure that you do that on an annual basis. And then items that you find during those inspections, make sure that you have some sort of a tracking mechanism to make sure that you ensure that those items are getting closed out. Ensure employee participation in county and department required safety training. Recommended additions, deletions, and modifications of safety training requirements or training programs based or observed workplace conditions and employee work behavior. Okay, so just make sure that you go through what safety trainings that your department needs, and then make sure, especially if they're higher hazardous topics, make sure that you're covering that on an annual basis. Investigate incidents involving employee injury or illness and or damage to vehicles or other county property. Determine the facts and causes of the accident, implement or recommend corrective actions for the purpose of preventing similar occurrences in the future. And you guys also have Jackie Bolster, so make sure that you include her in a lot of this stuff because she is the safety director for Granite County. So make sure that you include her in these investigations. Encourage employee involvement in safety hazard recognition and act on hazard elimination and hazard control suggestions from the safety committee or safety coordinator and individuals. So one thing that you guys might be implementing, and I don't know where you're at with it quite yet, but is a near miss program. So basically with that near miss program, it's confidential. You fill out that near miss card and then you guys bring them to the safety committee meeting, and then you can talk about them at the safety committee meeting and then come up with solutions on how you're going to address those incidences out in the workplace. Identify unsafe work conditions and unsafe practices and make arrangements for those conditions or practices to be corrected as soon as possible. So again, if it's a serious incident that might cause either a serious injury or a fatality, make sure that you guys correct that as soon as possible. But, again, like Mark said, you want to analyze trends. And if you notice that, you've had a lot of slips, trips, and falls in one area of the courthouse, that'd be something that you'd want to bring up with the safety committee. And then the safety committee can come up with ways on how to prevent those accidents from happening in the future. Is there any questions or comments on this?
I have a quick.
Just a
So
second.
again,
The sheriff
yes.
has-
So my deputies, part of their job requirement is to take first aid CPR. And during that class, they're trained about body substance isolation, gloves, glasses, protective equipment. Does that cover that requirement as far as the bloodborne pathogens?
Yes, it
policy?
would. Yes, because yes, in first aid CPR, you're going to cover the basic bloodborne pathogens. Yes, because that's a whole lesson in the first aid section. So yes, you would be covered under that. Okay, questions or comments? All right, so employee safety responsibilities. County employees are responsible for the following. Abide by the county and department work practices established for specific job assignments and occupations. Report all occupational injuries, illness, and near misses immediately to their supervisor or by the end of the work shift obtaining first aid or medical attention that may be required. So one thing that's really, really important, if you get injured on the job, make sure that you report it as soon as possible. You know, if you kinked your back, even though you think that you might not got hurt, make sure that you still report it, because we've had people that get a minor injury, they don't think they hurt themselves, then they don't report it, and then like 3 or 4 weeks down the road, they're having all these issues. So make sure that you report it so that it's documented that it happened at work. And then also, you know, the quicker that you report it, the county wants you to receive, you know, the medical treatment that you need if it is a serious injury, and then they can go from there. So just make sure that you report it. That's really, really important. It just makes the whole process go a lot easier, especially with work comp and everything else. Mark, is there anything you want to say on that?
Yeah, I just want to throw out that it's important to report everything regardless of severity. If you don't receive medical treatment, if there's nothing, no dollars spent on that claim, that doesn't impact your EMOD or your premium. So report them, please.
And I believe the county's policy is within 24 hours, isn't it, Jackie?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and Granite County has had some late reporting, so it just makes things a lot more difficult if injuries are reported late. So try to do it as soon as possible. That's really, really important, you know, because if you report it late, then you might not get the treatment that you need, and you can aggravate your injury and make it worse. So it just makes life a lot easier if you report when you get injured on the job. Okay. And then participate in incident investigations as requested by the supervisor or safety coordinator. Participate fully in safety training, suggest improvements in safety training requirements or programs to the supervisor or the safety committee or safety coordinator. And then, of course, identify unsafe work conditions and unsafe practices, correct hazards or report them to the supervisor or safety committee or safety coordinator as appropriate. Any questions or comments on that? And then just the next slide is, if you guys are involved in a workplace accident, Marsh McLennan has actually created accident reporting packets, and I believe each department should have them. So in these accident reporting packets, you should have your first report of injury form. There's a work capacity form if you have to go to the doctor, and then there is instructions on how to fill it out. So you should have those in all your departments. If you don't, please let us know and we can make more of those for you. And then I believe Jackie's number's on there to call if you have any questions or comments on how to fill out the paperwork. So, and then get those in as soon as you possibly can. So, and supervisors, please encourage your employees to fill them out in as much detail as they possibly can, because that just helps with the accident reporting process, especially if it has to be reported in Montana State Fund. Rody or Mark, is there anything that you want to say on the accident packets?
No, I just would like to reiterate the timely reporting. We talked about that a little bit. Timely reporting helps everybody. It helps the injured employee, it helps the employer, and it helps the Montana State Fund appropriately adjust the claim. There are statistics out there that say that if there is a work-related injury and it's reported within a timely basis as opposed to a non-timely report, statistics will show that the medical costs of that claim will go up considerably as a result of that late reporting, because the carrier, the claims adjuster, is not able to help medically manage the claim properly. And so it poses a challenge. So again, just reiterate the need to report timely. And as Mark pointed out, if there is a report that ultimately leads to no cost, then it's not going to be punitive or count against the county. So it's critical that everybody adheres to that timely reporting. That's all I had.
So then here's just some of the safety goals that we came up with, Jackie and Billy, for this next year for Granite County. So train employees on how to identify near misses and incidents. Jackie, have you guys finalized that near miss program yet?
Yes, we have a
Yes.
form.
Okay, so when's training gonna take place for everybody on that?
Well, we thought when we got done with this, we would kind of just hand them out quickly, and if anybody had questions, and then we'll just, do an email or something, because we thought we were gonna have
Okay.
more time than what we are, so.
Okay, and then have each department fill out so many near miss cards per quarter. Have you guys decided on a number yet, or is it just kind of, just make sure you get one from each department? Jackie?
Yes.
Yes, I think I think what we'll do is just get them out to everybody and then just let them, if they don't have one, kind of get their feet wet in the program. Maybe, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And then, of course, once the cards come in, analyze the data from the near miss cards to formulate plans to prevent these types of incidents from reoccurring in the future. So again, that's something that you guys will do as a safety committee. And then, of course, what the safety committee finds will be communicated to the entire county. And then just the second goal, implementing safety training for county employees. So Billy and Jackie are looking at implementing online training platforms for employees. So that's something that we're actually working with them on. And then safety training implementation would include new hires, current employees, and job-specific tasks. Once safety trainings are implemented, develop tracking system to ensure training is being conducted on an annual basis. And so if you guys, and I just want to emphasize too, if you guys need any training materials for your departments, please contact either Mark or myself, because we have a vast library of different training materials that you can use. We have safety videos, we have toolbox talks. So we have a lot of materials available to you. So don't try to recreate the wheel. We have them for you on basically anything that you're going to need safety training on. So please let us know and we'll get you those materials.
So Brody, one of the
Yes.
requests that we have had from various departments, that it's specific for them. And so I was kind of looking through the risk management yesterday, and I'll just say for Sheriff Dunkerson and things that pertain to him, it's kind of, there's limited amount of trainings on that. Is there another site I can find?
We have our video on demand system. Have you got into that at all?
I tried and I couldn't get into it. Remember we talked
Okay,
about that?
I will make sure that you get set up on that again, because there's a lot. You have about 450 videos on that.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, I'll get you access to that. And then is there anything else that I can help you with?
If so, I will let you know.
Okay. And one thing that I have done too in the past is I have developed new employee safety orientation packets for clients based on job classification too. So if that's something that you want to visit.
This is Sheriff Gunderson, something I see that I worry about constantly with my deputies, because we've had close calls and even crashes with traffic incident management. Is there something specific training for that you're aware of?
I can look and see what I have in my database.
I know there's another class. It's been a while since we've done it, the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I'll look, and if I can't find something, I'll look to see resources on that for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions or comments on anything?
I don't think
So we got done before the 12:30 time frame. Again, I apologize that we had issues before getting into the meeting, but we really appreciate your time, and Granite County does do a great job. I mean, you guys are really dedicated towards safety, and we really appreciate everything that you guys do. It's one of those things that it's an ongoing process. It's something that you always have to keep up on, and you guys do a great job. Jackie does a great job. Just keep up the good work is all I can say to you. Mark, and do you guys have anything?
Thanks, Brody.
I
Thanks,
just want to
Brody.
thank everybody for their time, and if, like
Brody.
Brody said, if you need something safety related, lean on us.
Hey,
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you
thanks,
all.
everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. And Billy, I'll work with you on how to do this.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. How to get it down to where you can just use it for training for future employees.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
You also as well.
Thank you, bye.
Thanks.
See you guys. Have a good one.
I
So,
think sure.
I'll bring this to you later.
is there a decision that we have to make or just training and discussion?
Training and discussion.
Right?
And we have these near misses, but we'll put together like a little email and attach the near misses with the
Roll with that.
outlines of the program.
Yeah.
Okay,
But if we don't have near misses,
you might yourself.
but if I don't, I mean, I'm the only person in there, so
Department of One.
if it's not me falling.
Okay, but you might see something in Blaine's office or in the stairway or
Okay.
something like that.
Bathroom, the
Yeah,
hallway.
The bathroom I do. I
Right,
think
it's, yeah,
I've
yeah.
watched a bunch
And
of
here's the
guys
deal
get
too.
the bathroom.
I wanna add,
Good progress.
when we're doing this, it's not like we're not nitpicking, we're just bringing up, we're not being, and we don't want anybody to take this personal. What we can do to make it all of us safer at our work.
Move forward.
Are you wanting all the department heads to watch this?
Yeah, I think in the original safety meeting, it was all employees that would be rolled out
Yeah.
to.
And so we'll be passing this along. to
I'll
you
send it out
guys.
as a video that you can share.
Sounds good.
And Ben, I was gonna ask you if there's some things that are weed related, would probably be good for your
Yeah,
crews coming on this
Safety.
summer.
yeah, I should do like a rainy day safety thing with them, just walk through equipment.
Okay.
And we can go over the paperwork that they need to be aware of too. When they start this spring, but
Well, and what we're gonna do is we'll throw these in and we'll go over them as a safety committee, and then there's a prize for whoever name pulls out.
but yeah, there's specific stuff for
Them.
weed spraying. Like,
Okay, and you have the safety, the sign out sheet.
yeah, they have to keep on file all the safety data sheets for all the chemicals they use, so.
Okay.
Jackie Scott has a question.
Hey, when Scott was asking about some of that stuff, Highway Patrol puts out a bunch of stuff too.
Okay,
You might look in their website. He might cover, when he was asking about the gloves and all that.
I will look there.
Yeah, and the only, when Scott brought up graphic stuff, it's just when those guys are spraying the interstate highway 1. Yeah, if there's, make sure we're up to speed on how to do that.
That would be good for me.
They wear high vis, don't they?
Yep,
Okay,
Yeah,
they got signs of
Pretty proud of
highways, so.
They were out on interstate with their signs and everything. They did good.
But that's probably the most dangerous part of their job outside of just the herbicides in general. Is on just the highway stuff, so.
okay, all right, thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Community wildfire protection plan. Community wildfire protection plan. Oh, Jesus. Just an update on the correspondence.
Yeah, there's some classes, I know like Trick Wade picked up classes.
Okay.
We've got 5 minutes till our next agenda item. I think as long as we have Jackie here, we can go ahead and go forward with the Community Wildfire Protection Plan Grant Program. Discussion and decision.
Okay, so I didn't know this was on the agenda until yesterday. And so I emailed Sarah, just for some questions about the pre-proposal. I mean, I've never done this before, so I have no idea what a contract would even charge or anything else. So I'm kind of waiting to get some information back from her. So, yeah, table it until I hear from her. This is due the proposal is due February 16th, so we have a couple of weeks to get the information.
Yep, today's the 6th.
Yeah, we have till next,
16.
yeah.
Okay, so I guess table this until 13th. Billy, can you put it on the agenda for the 13th?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Do we want to do this?
Well, so, and here's my question too. So the last time it was updated was like November of 2005. And they are encouraging any county that is over 5 years to update their plan. So I started looking through it just to see what the updates would be. And I can put that on my agenda to look further into it.
And what this would be is applying for a grant to be able to update it?
Yes.
And you're saying, why do we want to do this? Or should we do this? What,
So this is a grant to update our plan.
what's wrong with that? Is it money already appropriated that someone could get?
I believe so.
I don't know if there's anything wrong with it right now. I gotta look into it. I just looked at this. today.
Okay, so it is on the website. The original one that was, it was produced by Fox Logic and it was something that the Headwaters is one who contracted
Oh,
this.
okay, now it's come back. So they're gonna come up here and get people to do this for a living through this grant. And they're gonna come up with the same old BS that they all say, you gotta clean out around here, you gotta clean out around there, and then we're gonna let the fire burn. Also,
Yeah, and I haven't had time to look through the old manual, see if there's any updates. I know, David Ray from the
I
Phillipsburg.
remember reading the last one. I've read this before.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
the old one.
So what you're saying is you don't think we need to update the current wildfire
Well, we can
protection?
look at it, but it's just part of the whole system, it's part of the whole. They're gonna let things burn when you have your plan, is you know, you're supposedly gonna go clean out here over, one area, and then they just let it go. That's what it's all about. I mean, it's about letting fires burn.
So can I ask would you look through the old plan that's online and just kind of see if there are things that need to be changed in there?
Do we have to have a plan?
Yeah, I did that before, yeah, you get the whole damn thing out.
So we have to have a plan though.
To my knowledge, we have to have a
Okay.
plan if we have a fire.
Okay, and what you're saying is that they recommend that it be updated. And what you're also saying is that there's grants out there to
It's all right here.
write the grant for the grant. Okay,
I'm saying if you get those people, you'll get the same BS. We could do a plan. In fact, we were working on that with FMAC, I think, back in the day. We were talking about it. I mean, your plan should be to put the fire on. To go aggressively fight the fires. Theirs isn't. I remember reading it. I can't remember the whole details of the whole thing, but, yeah, we can redo the plan, but not get a grant or not have these people that to do it. I mean, because they're promoting the same system that's going now. That's why you have all the smoke. That's why your forest burn.
okay, so what you're saying is that if it has to be updated, then you're saying not to have the people that update it,
We can update it.
we can update it ourselves?
We could just get another committee going and we could update it here for the counties.
Okay, so what's your take, Scott? How do you feel about this?
Well, I think I need to read it, read the old one before I make it. Yeah, I haven't read this.
And in the past, Lisa Carey, who works for Silverbow, she's assistant or deputy DES person over there. She did give me a download because they had the same Fox Logistics and went through that and updated that. I just have not had time to sit down and do that. I mean, it just takes a lot of time and some days I don't
Yes.
have that.
Yes.
So,
Chuck, is this that stuff, remember that Kimball guy? Is that the stuff? Yeah, I need to go back and read that, I don't understand it.
It was written before him,
Yeah.
but you read it, I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, it is totally ridiculous. I probably have a copy of it.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, cause it's just one more
Right.
thing I'm gonna have to
And you
do.
know, no, I'm for redoing it. But it just, you can do it in one page.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
you can fight the virus. I mean,
Okay, so what we need to find out is can we do our own without having somebody else do it?
I believe from what I had received from Silverville County, I can go through there and reread it, but I would like expert opinions or Chuck looking at it too, because I don't know this stuff.
So, yeah, now I see what you're saying, like, have us look through it and then mark stuff.
Right.
Then we can look and say, well, can we do this, can we do that, and put it in our own instead.
Yes, exactly. I mean, because
I
you guys
would read it.
And then looking at it, and if you see that changes need to be done, then we'll do those changes. If you don't feel that we need to update it, it's not required, they recommend, but
it needs to be updated. It should, I was getting into that before I ever started this job,
okay,
you know, and yeah.
well, and we can make those changes and amend that into the program and,
Yeah, I'm all.
Do that.
for it.
okay,
okay.
all right.
I have a public comment from Elena.
Sorry, I can't see.
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, for the record. And Chuck is correct on this. As a matter of fact, when we had the Forest Advisory Committee, which I guess is defunct, we reviewed that thing. And it wasn't even done properly. I don't even know if it was really actually approved by the commissioners or just pushed through. I don't think it needs a revision. I think it has to be done totally new because that and yeah, we went into that full debt when we had the advisory committee. It was a joke. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena.
Yeah, that reminds me more. It was a joke. And it was like a can, the whole can thing, you get, I don't know how many $1,000 to do this. And it's just the same old BS for every place, you know, just change the names and.
Exactly. Like Silver Bows has the same one. Betterwood, Ravalli County had the same one by this Cost Logistics, whoever they are. They came in and just.
I don't know if I can find it online, so if somebody
It
can
is.
find it,
It's on
give me a copy of it, so I can. read
Okay,
it.
so our decision being that we need to address and update it, we want to do it ourselves. So is there a motion against that? That would be a motion.
I'll make a motion to do it and update it to Granite County.
Okay. Second. Any public comment? Did you have anything else? All in favor?
Hello. I'm still here, unmuted.
Okay.
Okay. And I just wanted to add one other thing, that Fox, Foxx, I believe, they went out of business right after they did the updates, or not updates, when they completed that. They were from Valley County or something, and they just dropped out completely after they did that. So I just want to make that point. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Elena. Okay. There you go, all in favor? Aye. We've got 10 minutes before our next agenda item.
So. Chuck, would you like Billy to print one off for you?
Yeah,
So you
good.
can read it?
Find it online, Jack.
It's under documents and it's under, because I looked at it yesterday, right here. Right, it did,
Right, W.
forward down.
So you're saying we do need to, but we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, I could do it.
And you agree with that?
Yeah, it needs to be updated.
Yeah. Maybe make one for school. So we'll go on your expertise.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
It's very.
Prints on those 5.
And I tried to find that
Smooth
CD.
copies.
Scott and I, Doug and I dug around down in the sheriff's basement. We've looked everywhere.
And I dug around a couple
Yeah.
years ago for it too.
They've never found it. But they just did a mass production and then. Okay. Are we done?
Be done. You be done. Thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Well, now I gotta go. read. Oh, the annexation, amendment to the annexation. I gotta just find a- It's gotta be in the somewhere.
All right, thank you.
No, thank you
Yes.
for all you do.
We'll be sending out a. Various.
I need paper.
What the ambulance needs for updating, which I'm for. What, well, I was just reading what the ambulance, update. I mean, I'm for that, just reading.
So I think that our next agenda item is a closed session item, so we will go into the closed session and we'll be back on at 1:15.
Hey, Robert.
Oh, here, I have to make him a co-host so he can unmute. Give me a sec.
I think she went to check the money deal out.
Yeah, I think she's just grabbing your budget.
How's it going?
It's going well. How about you guys?
Pretty good.
Good.
Sorry I couldn't be up there. I caught some sort of cold on my vacation. What's that?
But oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Plans went in budget, so.
Okay.
Yeah. He just came on.
Oh,
He just
okay.
said hi.
Okay, so we are a couple minutes early. We can go ahead going into our next agenda item. Phillipsburg Volunteer Ambulance requesting funding to update training room and equipment. So Robert, if you wanted to go ahead and get us started.
Yeah, so I'm Robert Littlejohn, the President Chief Phillipsburg Ambulance. So I know I was just also looking for some clarification on something that'll kind of lead into this, but I am looking for some funding to, I guess, not even update, but completely finish what we had going to be a training room at the ambulance station that's been pretty much unused upstairs. I'm looking for, getting a TV, a wall mount, a projector, a screen, and some chairs and tables, and then some training supplies like mannequins and some training AEDs. Mostly so we can kind of stop outsourcing our training for our department and we can start working on that interior. At least to up to a certain level, I do believe we have an EMT trainer. So if that's something we can provide for ourselves, I think that's going to save us some money in the long run. But not only that, as well as having some trainings for the local community that can come in. As you guys know, I also work with the fire department, search and rescue. Being an instructor myself up to a certain level, I kind of do the trainings for those organizations as well. And Sarah with Coast to Coast is also wanting to volunteer her time to do trainings at a higher level that she can do. So hopefully in the end, we can kind of start having a self-sustaining Department of Training where we can offer that training when we sign on people. A little bit easier to recruit and retain if we can kind of do that training inside. So what I was looking for was right around $3,000, and that would kind of get us started towards a few things. I believe when we talked at the beginning to do our trainings, we had a separate fund outside of the ambulance budget that we were pulling for training our members. My biggest concern is just depleting my supplies budget and not, all of a sudden needing some medications and not having that supply, because outfitting our ambulance and taking care of the community first right now, and as we can build our program a little bit more and more.
Can't we use the same funds that we use for that QRU, right?
The safety stuff that we,
Well, I think it's the LA.
yeah, we've got a line item that's set aside for safety. And so I guess training is safety. So, and that way you wouldn't have to wait until the next budget year to put that into your budget request. What do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I'd entertain a motion, go ahead and take that 3,000 out of that LE.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
LA, whatever.
yeah, and then that way they can go ahead and get their stuff and have it and be ready to go instead of waiting a couple months.
Do they need more than 3,000?
To give them 5, just to give them.
So, Robert, right now, it's 3,000 did you, trim that down, or is that everything that you need?
It's kind of trimmed down. I didn't want to come in asking for the world, but I'd like to just get stuff to get us started. I mean, if there's more in there, I can kind of get, some more advanced training equipment so we can get our current EMTs certified in IV use and get them some endorsements in-house.
Give them 5 and then they don't have to, pick and choose from each little thing. I just want 5.
Okay, so you can say 3 on your first motion, you amend it to 5.
Yeah.
Okay, so is 5 gonna work for you?
That would be amazing.
I'll second that.
Okay, so, is there any, it was seconded by Chuck, is there any public comment? Being none, all in favor to give Peaburg Ambulance 5,000 for training materials? Say aye. 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 Okay, Robert.
Thank you guys so much. We
You're
couldn't
welcome.
be doing this without you guys' support, so we appreciate you guys helping us build this program back up.
You able to find a QRU rig?
I'm still looking. I've talked with some people in the fire department about how we go about getting some government kind of release program for just government agencies. The fire department's used that in the past, as well as the Forest Service where I work, so I'm looking into some of that stuff.
Thank you for all the stuff you do.
Yeah, no, the support from you guys, I appreciate it.
Thanks, Robert.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Have a great day.
So you just tell Becky, take it out, and Sarah, take it out something, put it in there.
All you do is get his stuff and they pay it out of there. So we don't have to do any transfer. Okay. I guess that's the last agenda item. Is there a projected adjournment?
I think
To adjourn.
second.
Okay, adjourned. It's adjourned when he takes